In Pakistan, it's a defining time in the relationship between Pakistan and India. Stressed as it is, thousands of Indian Sikhs have been allowed to make a pilgrimage through a new faith corridor to one of their most sacred places of worship. Rani Singh has been telling me about it.
Rod, it's special because it's called a faith corridor and it actually crosses the Indo-Pakistan border. It starts off in India, ends up in Pakistan. And the reason for this is because it leads to a very sacred temple or gurdwara for the Sikhs. They call temples gurdwaras. And this gurdwara is at a town called Kartarpur. And the reason we're talking about it is because it's the 550th birth anniversary of the founder of the Sikh faith. His name was Guru Nanak and he lived in the 16th century. And Kartarpur Gurdwara is said to be his final resting place. And it's the first time since partition in 1947 when Indian Sikhs can go across to Kartarpur visa-free. So it really is a historic moment. You may recall from the history books, Rod, that in 1947, during partition, the state of Punjab, where many Sikhs live, was split in two, which left the bulk of the Indian Sikhs on the Indian side, but several important gurdwaras or temples or shrines for the Sikhs were on the Pakistan side, and this meant it was very difficult for Indian Sikhs to get across and see their sacred places. And now, because of what's happened since last Saturday, thousands of Indian Sikhs have been allowed through this faith, what's called the Faith Corridor, along a specially built road. It's called the Kartarpur Corridor, actually, to visit this Gurdwara. It starts in India and it goes about 4.5 kilometers up to the Gurdwara.
And how easy is it for Indian Sikhs to actually cross that faith corridor border, given the security situation?
Well, there's been special dispensation for them because it's the 550th anniversary. So Pakistan has said that they don't have to have a visa, and this is the historic thing, and up to 5,000 can go at a time, and they just need to pay a fee and have the right ID. Pilgrims started crossing on Saturday, the 9th of November, and as of now, thousands of them have gone through, and you can see photos and videos of them on Twitter, on Facebook, and there's a really joyous atmosphere. But Pakistan has laid down certain conditions that they go in the morning and they have to come out by night. They're not allowed to go anywhere else in Pakistan, and they're taken by bus to the Gurdwara once they cross the border. I'd like to introduce Eleanor Nisbet. She's the Professor Emeritus in the Religions Unit at the University of Warwick.
Pakistan is naturally keen to promote its image as a country that's hospitable, welcoming to religious diversity, and in particular pilgrims at this important time to the place where Guru Nanak died and where he'd lived many years. Pakistanis respect Guru Nanak. At the same time, in India, the government is naturally cautious and alert because of Pakistan's history of support for separatists.
Now, indeed, there was initially a tepid or lukewarm official stance from India to this whole scenario, although on Saturday, when Indian Prime Minister Modi launched the corridor from the Indian side, he did say thank you to Imran Khan for the efforts that had been made. However, only days before, Indian officials said they were worried about Indian pilgrims being exposed to anti-India propaganda. In this case, Pakistan's support for an independent Sikh state that the Sikhs called Khalistan. And curiously, there was an official promotion video put out by the Pakistan government saying, "Come to Kartarpur." And in that video, there was a pro-Khalistan poster. And India complained about this, but Pakistan refused to remove it. However, in Imran Khan's inaugural speech on Saturday from the Pakistan side, he did talk all about peace and understanding. And, when the Sikhs were there, they said, and there were several dignitaries, like the Chief Minister of Punjab and a former Sikh Indian Prime Minister, they were copious in their thanks to Imran Khan and said they were joyous and they were happy. So, Rod, this is a defining and special moment in Indo-Pakistan relations, and it's an example of what peace can bring to Indians and to Pakistan.
And how long is it going to stay open, Rani?
It's going to be open from now on, and these special conditions may vary from time to time, but certainly it's almost like a very big open-armed welcome to Indian Sikhs for the very first time.
Now, here's someone we haven't heard of for a long time, the former Pakistani Prime Minister, Nawaz Sharif. Why haven't we heard about Nawaz Sharif?
Rod, we haven't heard from Nawaz Sharif for a while because he was in jail for corruption. He was sentenced for 7 years, but he has been granted bail. That's because he's not too well at the moment, and he's been told he can fly to the UK or abroad for treatment. Indeed, my sources say that as we speak, as we're on air, he has been readied for an air ambulance that's waiting at Lahore airport, and he's about to take off any time. You see, he's been critically ill, and he's, as you know, a major political figure in Pakistan politics. He heads the single largest party in the lower house, and this party is called the Pakistan Muslim League, N, where the N stands for Nawaz. He's got a very low blood platelet count, which means that he's in danger of internal or external bleeding any time. He's got a very low blood sugar level and he's had a heart attack. There's a suspicion that he has an underlying malignancy or a tumour. And the Khan government constituted a 6-member medical team to treat him. And they have actually said that the only chance of anyone saving his life will happen if he comes abroad for travel. So I want to now introduce Murtaza Solangi, who's a senior journalist based in Islamabad.
It's not the matter of if, but when former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif departs abroad, most probably first to UK and then to the United States. It can happen any minute now. The court has already granted him a bail on medical grounds, and there's too much political cost for Imran Khan government to pay if he continues to suffer a die.
You know, Imran Khan wants to avoid a backlash just in case anything does happen to Sharif in Pakistan. There'd be a huge outpouring of sympathy. So people might say to him, you denied the former Prime Minister the chance of better treatment abroad. So he wants to avoid that at all costs. So Nawaz Sharif was a bit reluctant to leave for a few reasons. He wanted to make sure that his party was in safe hands. And those safe hands belonged to his daughter, Miriam Sharif. Now, he was in jail for corruption, and so was she. So he was allowed to come abroad, but she needed to come out of jail too for him to feel more secure. She has also been granted bail, and she is very much his heir. She's a firebrand like him, she's got charisma, and she stands up to the army like him, and she has his DNA of defiance. So she may join him later on, although one condition of bail was that she surrender her passport, so she can't come now if he's coming to London, that is.
Rani Singh.